Hi, Carrie.
Hi, how are you?
I think are you still on mute?
Oh, sorry.
No? No, I can't hear you. Weird.
Okay, now you can.
Let me try this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I can hear you too.
I was in California on Sunday and Monday, and we flew home on Tuesday.
Yeah? Awesome.
Got my hair cut and colored.
Let me see if I can bring it up here.
I feel better.
It looks great. It looks great. Toss it in the wind.
Yeah.
David, do you relate to that?
It was so nice to be on my bike on the strand again. Oh, and walking in the sand on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. Aw, that's awesome. Yeah, your hair looks great.
Thank you. I can't wash it. It has to stay like this because I never do it this perfect.
That's awesome. How you doing, Pat?
I'm good. I have a gardener coming to fix a leaky sprinkler. So I'm going to pop out for a while, but I'll be back.
Okay. Oh, and thank you for that little raffle ticket.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope you win.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. That would be so awesome.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pop out. I'll be back.
Sounds good. Hi, Julie.
Hi, morning. How are you?
Great. How are you today?
Good.
Good to see you. And we got Ann too. How are you, Ann?
Good. And Mark?
Hi, Mark. Yeah, I see you too, Mark. Nice to see you. How are you feeling?
Good.
You look like it. You look like you're beaming.
Thank you.
There we go. Oh, well, awesome. I think, yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so we will get started. Grateful that everyone's here and wants to practice along today. This week's topic in classes, and if you've been showing up to practice along, been sharing from this book called Power versus Force, and I like it a lot. It's been helping a lot for me in clinical settings, but also just in personal life. I find that reading books like this are helpful to understand what am I internally aligning myself with, and with what it is I am aligning myself with, how is that causing a level of stress or tension or whatever it may be, or joy or happiness, because it's not all just stress and tension either. I think that's important to remind ourselves. But this week, the topic is a topic of desire. And I love this topic a lot because sometimes we poo-poo on desire sometimes, or we poo-poo our own desires, but also we may be unconscious of desires that are problematic too, whether we realize or not. And so I want to first begin with, in this context of desire, let's not judge it as good or bad. Let's just recognize desire as desire and let it be what it is. And he says there is yet more energy available at this level. Desire motivates vast areas of human activity, including the economy. Advertisers play on our desire to program us with needs linked to instinctual drives. And I'll pause there and give you an example. When I worked at St. Jude Medical, our competing company was Medtronic, and they have this thing called Medtronic Blue. And it's a very specific color of blue that is advertised to medical professionals because of the psychological effects that it has. And so when St. Jude was designing their, and now it's owned by Abbott, when they were designing all of their advertising for the company, they sent to the whole sales force about 50 different types of advertisements that made it look just right. And they asked all of our opinions. Why? Because it plays off of our target audience's ideas and opinions, and we're the interface. Another example would be, look at fast food companies. Fast food companies spend millions of dollars advertising specific ways in order to tap into the desire of the consumer. That's why for a lot of fast food companies, you see the colors red and yellow. McDonald's, Burger King, In-N-Out Burger, Carl's Jr., Hardee's, Arby's, El Pollo Loco, all of them. It's not just by accident, it's by design. Red represents lust and love and desire. Yellow represents hunger, optimism, and what was the other one? I forget at the moment, but that's okay. But you combine these two together and now put it repeatedly in front of somebody's face, and now this internal desire that plays off of our desires starts to happen. So he says, desire moves us to expend great effort to achieve goals or obtain rewards. The desire for money, prestige, or power runs the lives of many of those who have risen above fear as their limiting predominant life motive. And we talked about fear last week. Desire is also the level of addiction, wherein desire becomes a craving more important than life itself. The victims of desire may actually be unaware of the basis of their motives. Some people become addicted to the desire for attention and drive others away by their constant demands. The desire for sexual approval has produced entire cosmetic, fashion, and movie industries. Desire has to do with accumulation and greed. But desire is insatiable because it is an ongoing energy field. So that satisfaction of one desire is merely replaced by unsatisfied desire for something else. And this isn't the case in every single person, so please know that. But multimillionaires are an example that he uses, remain obsessed with acquiring more money and more money. And that's where we put money before person, money and greed before, service and things like that. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with having wealth or anything. And I feel that's important to share. But when our only focus is in just getting that, well, then there's a level of unalignment. Desire, however, is a much higher state than apathy or grief. In order to get, you have to first have the energy to want. Television has had a major influence on many oppressed people because it inculcates wants and energizes their desires to the degree that they move out of apathy and begin to seek a better life. Want can start people on the road to achievement. Desire can therefore become a springboard to higher levels of consciousness. And this is important, I feel, as it connects to the breath, because how we breathe is oftentimes based on our desires as well, too. And the thing is if our desires not met, then we might start to get angry. And as we get angry, our pride and our ego comes up. And we're going to talk about these in the next couple of weeks. But what ends up happening is when we hit that pride ego point, we either stay there or we start to have the courage to change that, or we just stay there and then we get angry and then fear starts to set in and we start to tumble back down this ladder that we've been talking about. And so I find it's helpful to bring in now some of these older teachings, specifically a teacher from Yogananda. And one of the reasons why I like his words so much is because modern society uses a lot of words to soften the direct context of what's coming through an individual. And I like it because these particular quotes come from the 1930s and they're just very direct. And so Yogananda said, every unfulfilled active desire, unless roasted by wisdom, plants a new desire seed in the mind. And how do we have wisdom? Through the experience of going through a process. That's one way of gaining wisdom. And so we end up, with these unfulfilled active desires, feeding that until we see that, okay, that wasn't it that made me happy. That wasn't it that made me happy. That wasn't it that made me happy. And what ends up happening for a lot of people is that we just switch one desire for the next desire for the next desire. And becoming aware of that is important, because what are we trying to fill our void with? And then to go along with that, Yogananda said, fulfillment of a particular desire seems necessary only if one lacks conviction that he cannot find perfect fulfillment in God. One who is at peace in God is not tortured by unfulfilled earthly desires. And that one, I don't know how that hits you, but that one hits me like, ooh, like that. Like, how many times do I put myself before my connection to my higher power? How many times do I put my selfish needs before, what does David needs, and before simply trusting something that is greater than who David is? And I find that being reminded of this is important because I can soften a little bit and trust Great Spirit or trust God or trust whatever that you choose to connect with. I use my mouth noises to express it, but I know that we all have our own perceptions of that. So as we move through our practice today, where is desire inside of you? And we're not judging the desire as bad, but how is that desire showing up? And what form does it take inside of the body through what you feel? And I don't want to add too many adjectives after that, because when we start to overthink it, then we start to kind of fall out of it. I hope that makes sense. And so let's go ahead and get into our practice. Let's go ahead and lay down on our backs. Man, I'm going to put us up on the big screen here. All right. And as we lay on our backs, let your left hand rest right in the center of the rib cage, and let your right hand rest just below that. And as we arrive into our practice, letting go of our day, letting go of the week, letting go of what's next and what's to come, taking a moment to just suspend desires in order to connect with our bodies and our breath. Perhaps even to see how some desires that aren't necessarily in full alignment may be creating certain patterns within the body. Feel the breath. As you feel the breath, feel as the air flows in through the nose, down the windpipes, into the lungs. Feel how it flows out of the lungs, up the windpipes, and out the nose. Can you sense any subtle energy moving into you with each breath? And the exhale, letting it go. Can you sense any subtle energy moving out? Energy can be in the form of sensations, feelings. Inhale, fill the lungs all the way up. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. 3 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Continue to breathe on your own. And as you breathe on your own, begin to check in with the body. Observe how the body is feeling. Is there any areas in the body that we can relax? You release some tension. Is there a possibility that certain desires that we have are causing stress or tension in our bodies? Is there a possibility that the desires we have are also creating a lightness and openness in our bodies? Becoming aware of the difference is quite helpful. As we move deeper into the practice, stay with the breath. Let go of what you can for now. Be here now. So moving into our next breath, we're going to do 5 breath holds of about 30 seconds. As we do these breath holds, try to relax into your body around the inflated lungs within you. As you relax your body, observe any thoughts that may come up in the process. Let's begin. Please take a long, slow, full, deep breath in, filling your lungs all the way up at the top. And then hold the breath. As you hold your breath, relax your body, 30 seconds. Exhale, let it go. Observe if any panic came up, worry or doubt came up. Inhale, fill lungs. Exhale, letting it go. 30 seconds again. Inhale, fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Hold and relax around the lungs, 30 seconds. Exhale, letting it go. Just observe what came up, what sort of thoughts arose, awareness of them. Inhaling. And exhale. Another 30 seconds. Inhale, please fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath. Relax into the body around the lungs, 30 seconds. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. We have 2 more full rounds. 30 seconds. Inhale, please fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Holding it. Relax into the body around the lungs, 30 seconds. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. One more round. Inhale, please fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath. Relax into your body around the lungs, 30 seconds. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. All right. So moving into our next breath. For our next breath, we're going to go for 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, we're going to try to make a O with your mouth as if you were kind of like sipping through a straw. And what we're going to do for 5 minutes, breathe in and out through the mouth strong. So it's going to be a And as we do this, we're pumping the diaphragm and we're pumping our core muscles at the same time. Our hands are still on our belly to do this work. Now, as we do this for 5 minutes, you may experience things like tetany in the body, where your hands start to tense up a little bit. You might start to feel some clenching in the jaw a little bit, tightness around the mouth or throat. You may experience some lightness across the forehead, dizziness. That's all part of this practice. Try to relax into that as much as you can and just observe that it is a happening that is taking place and that you have the power to be present with the happening while not overthinking the happening. After that 5 minutes, we will exhale out all the air and hold that for approximately 45 seconds. After that 45 seconds at the base of the exhale, we'll take an inhale and hold that for approximately 1 minute. Now, if you can't hold it the full minute or 45 seconds, don't worry. It's nothing to stress out about. All we're learning to do is just relax, and we're working with our relaxation response. So let's begin. I have my timer with me. Let's all take a big breath in. Exhale out all the air. Make an O with the lips. 5 minutes begins. Breathe all the way. Nice and strong. Keep relaxing. Nice and strong. Nice and strong. Keep it going. Even deeper, big and strong. All the way in, all the way out. Stay with the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out all the air. Empty the lungs all the way out. Pause at the base of the exhale and relax into your body. 45 seconds. Releasing. Exhale all the way out. Relax. Inhale, fill the lungs all the way up to the top. And hold the breath. As you hold the breath, relax into your body. 1 minute. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. Let the breath return to normal for a moment. Now I'm going to pause here as we just let the breath return back to normal. Doing timed exercises is interesting because, and this may not apply to you, but in talking with a lot of different people about this, desire is a good one that comes up that can be brought to light. You know, did you ever have this point or desire for the time to be up? To say, okay, it's been 45 seconds or 5 minutes or a minute. Was that desire ever there? And if that desire was there, what was that desire getting in the way of? And I'll be perfectly honest, when I set my watch, I set it for 45 minutes rather than 45 seconds. But also because I'm leading this, I'm counting it in my head. So when I told us to inhale again, it was only really at about 47 seconds. But for even me in working through this, it's that desire to not affect anybody. It's that desire to, or have a wrong effect on someone. But going back to time, you know, did you feel that there was a desire there showing up that, oh my God, I desire another breath. I desire air to go into my body. And then were we so locked on to that it made it difficult to relax? Small thing to look at on our mats, because our mat is a microcosm where we can apply that to day-to-day life. You know, if I'm waiting in line somewhere, instead of just being in the present moment, am I desiring to be someplace else? Am I desiring that next thing? Am I desiring whatever it may be, rather than perhaps just, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, like not to get upset or overly tense about it. But if it's causing tension in the body, then I feel that's important to look at. In the context of how can I be more relaxed in the present moment and be of less worry or doubt and have faith and practice that faith. So for this next exercise, this is going to be an exhale. So we're going to hold our exhales for 30 seconds. So I'll ask us to take a big breath in. Then all we're going to do is exhale out all the air. And then we're going to hold that at the base of the exhale for 30 seconds. We'll do 5 rounds. Take an inhale, fill your lungs up. Then on the exhale, let it go completely. Empty the lungs all the way out. 30 seconds begins. Relax. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Let's try that again. Try to relax as much as you can into your body. So inhale, fill lungs. And exhale completely. Empty it all out. Then pause at the base of the exhale, 30 seconds, relax. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. Same thing again. Exhale, empty the lungs completely. And then relaxing at the base of the exhale, pause 30 seconds. Inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up. Exhale, letting it go. We have 2 more full rounds. Inhale, fill lungs all the way up. And then exhale, empty the lungs completely. Exhale, 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 empty it all the way out. And then pause at the base of the exhale, 30 seconds begins. Inhale, fill lungs all the way up. Exhale, letting it go. Last round, inhale, fill lungs all the way up. And then exhale, empty the lungs all the way out. Empty, 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 then pause at the base of the exhale, 30 seconds, begins. Relax. Inhale, fill lungs all the way up. And exhale, letting it go. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. And inhaling. Exhale, letting it go. All right, let's slowly start to move our fingers and our toes, circle out our wrists and our ankles. Stay with the breath. Let the breath be slow, balanced, steady. Opposite direction with the wrists and ankles. You know, there's a whole theory and practice. We have a beautiful woman online with us today by the name of Anne, and Anne is pregnant. And there's this whole beautiful practice called birthing breath. Arms along the sides, roll your shoulders out a little bit. And when I went to a thing called Bhakti Fest for the first time, it was a yoga festival, and it was the first like real yoga festival I'd been to. And I was teaching yoga at the time, but I was still kind of stuck in my own egoic states of yoga. And I'm sure there's still some of that there. But I went to this place and there was a whole practice called birthing breath. And I was like, I don't know what the hell this is, but this sounds really interesting. I want to learn more about this. And the lady was a practitioner teaching breath. And she was speaking about, well, how is the first breath for a child? What is that breath like when we first come into this world? And what are the experiences like around that child that may be contributing to the breath? Circle the shoulders in the opposite direction. And so this opened up a whole lot of thought processes for me, because I was like, I never really thought about that. What was my first breath like coming into this world? What were the environments? Was it in a sterile environment, in a hospital, and how did that all play out? Was there a level of isolation? In more modern American hospitals, we tend to do that. where the mother sees the baby, then the baby goes into an incubator, like a little ward away from the mother, versus a mother really spending time to connect with the child. And the mother's breath is so important to that child because that breath is a rhythm that child tunes into. And also with the father too, but not as close to as the mother. On an inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. And I find it's important that in the tuning process, especially like with little babies and children coming into the world, you know, tuning into the breath and being slow with our breath and being aware of fears and anxieties is so important. Take a big breath in, reach. Exhale, arms down along the sides. And also the way we are around other people's children and babies. Slide your feet in and hug your knees into the chest. Rock side to side, back and forth, back and forth. And I see that because I see so much anxiety. I see so much anxiousness from parents. And that's natural, it's normal. So please know that. Some of that's for instinctual behaviors. Some of that is for fight or flight, natural fight or flight responses. But also sometimes we pick our own breath up from the environment that we have been surrounded by. So you keep rocking your back out, releasing the lower back, drawing the thighs in the chest, keep the breath steady. And so we begin to see through breath after breath that we've taken this lifetime filled by activity, experience, trauma, like that has all shaped the body around the lungs, the stresses, the tensions, and all of that. And to become more aware of that, at least in adulthood, is valuable and important because we can impart our wisdom onto the child or children or next generation that's coming up, if we so choose to. We all have our lessons. All right, let's roll over to our right side. Use your left hand, press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Please know that my thoughts and opinions are just thoughts and opinions only, and I'm always open to other ones. It's just been stuff that's been going through my heart and my mind in these types of practices. So as we come up, let's come into a comfortable cross-seated position. And then lift your chest. Now we're going to work into a breath that correlates with self-soothing. And in different animals will do this, different cultures and tribes will do this. For some reason in the West, it's discouraged, but sound heals. And so cooing and light moaning, and it doesn't have to be misconstrued as a sexual moan, although in a couple's relationship, I do recommend like explore that a little bit. Is there shame around making noise and intimacy? Because if there is, let's maybe look at that. Know that you're okay, then you're safe in that environment. But in the context of this practice, all we're going to do is connect to our voices. And it's just going to be an inhale. And then as you make that sound, I'd like you to be very aware of your throat and how that vibration reverberates through the rest of your body. So can you feel it, for instance, in the base of the throat? Can you feel that vibration of your own sigh in your chest? Does it get into your shoulders and hands? For Anne, maybe you send some of those down for not just yourself, but also to the baby as well, too. Development. Let's try this together. Let's all take a big breath in through the nose. Then just sigh it out. Inhaling. Sigh it out. No need to judge it. Inhale. Sigh it out. Inhaling. Sigh it out. Inhaling. Sigh it out. Observe what this is doing in your body. Inhale. Sigh it out. Observe thoughts coming up. Inhale. Please don't compare. Inhale. Now, please explore this on your own. Please do not keep pace with my rhythm. You're just going to hear my voice, but don't feel like you have to keep pace with my voice. We're going to go for 2 minutes. Begin. Continue to breathe deeply, as deeply as you can. Don't strain it. Inhale. Exhale. Where's desire now? Inhale. Inhale. On your own. Exhale. Slow it down even more. One more wherever you're at. And just let your breath return to normal. Don't force it. It knows what to naturally do on its own from this state of being. And then I'd like you to just slowly place the hands over the heart. Feel your hands on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Let's take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, bow the head down towards the hands and heart. Honoring yourself today, your practice, for showing up on your mat. Honoring all of our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters. Gratitude for the many blessings, gifts, and abundance in our lives. And gratitude to the many teachers and guides that passed along these practices called breathwork. Gently release the hands down, softly blink the eyes open, and lift your chin. Let me come back to the friend screen, or the screen, friends. Man, I'm so high on my own breath. Can't speak right now. I hope that, see if I do this. Maybe if I do this, or try this. I don't know why. Oh well, but you can still see me. I hope this was helpful in making some connections in your practice. I know that I definitely made some connections of my own, but I would love to hear if you have any, what came up for you. Would anyone like to share what came up for them throughout the practice, or certain areas that were challenging, or things that may have shown?
Well, hi.
Hi
Julie.
there.
I
Hey, Julie.
I really like the last part with emoting, the emoting
Yes.
and letting it out.
Yeah.
My mom passed away last year, and it just really, the emotion just, it helps. So I thank you. And then
Yeah.
when we were doing the 5-minute breath,
Yeah.
I did it, but I'm, you know, there was some coughing, etc. But I was thinking like, oh, maybe if I inhale too much, I won't be able to do it. So I was trying not to think so much about it. But
Yeah.
very soothing, the breath retention too.
Yeah. You know, and that for some, you know, I can see that too as like a level of desire to want to do it right. Like even as a teacher, like I have a desire, I want to do this teaching thing right. I don't know what it's supposed to look like because they're like, but I want to do this thing right. And so I think that's beautiful. I feel like all of our breaths provide a level of insight. And does anybody else have anything that came up for them? So thank you, Julie, for sharing. That was really beautiful.
I always think that I should email you after class and tell you how things went, because if I was you, I would want to know how it affected everyone greatly, right? If it
Yeah.
helped, so that 5-minute breath, when you said we were going to do the O breath for 5 minutes, I'm like, this is going to feel forever. And then when it was over, I'm like, it's over already? I was shocked.
Yeah.
But the breath that we were holding on the exhales, the last one of those was hard for me. And I was really surprised because I was like enjoying. By the third one, it always takes me like the third one to feel like comfortable with it. It just, because the first one, I'm like trying to understand if I'm doing it right. And the second one,
Sure.
I feel like I got it. And the third one feels good. So that was interesting to me. But I always love your classes and I have the best Thursdays, David. So I'm with you as long as I can do it.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Me too. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's weird as a teacher, and also because this is a Zoom call that's recorded and saved. There's still a lot of work I feel that's, pioneered, and I'm always a little bit shy of, I know all of you are confident in your own ways, but sometimes like sharing this stuff and having other people hear your voices, but I feel it's also important to maybe hear that too. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know I appreciate what you're sharing, and I feel that you're right. I feel like a little unpacking time afterwards is important to talk about this, because I don't feel like we're really alone. Like I feel the same things too you're feeling. I'm like, this is 30 seconds. It feels like, because I'm counting in my head also, and because if my phone doesn't work, then at least I have my mind that's working. And then there's this fear of like, what if I'm not, and someone has to take a breath? Well, then of course, David, they're just going to take a breath. Why are you stressing out about that? Like, these things come up for me too. So I thank you for sharing this, and I really appreciate the feedback. Does anybody else have anything that came up for them before we get off the call? I saw Ann.
I do. When we were holding our breath for a long time, the baby was like moving around a lot.
Mhm.
But then when we did the last part and we were sitting up and, just kind of breathing slower, and I don't know if he heard you, but he was so calm.
Yes, I was
So
actually so fun. It's so funny you said that. I was actually thinking about that. I was thinking in my head, I was like, the baby probably feels like it's suffocating at this moment because the mother's holding her breath, but the mother's also practicing relaxation at the same time. So that way, this is a developmental stress response. So I'm like, it's learning, it's okay, it's learning. And then
Yeah,
for you,
good.
for sure, for you, when the baby is moving around and stuff like that, that you can use that cooing sound and that soft sound, and it's the baby will recognize your voice, so it's a beautiful way to connect also with your child. I love it so much.
Thank you so much. It was really interesting when he just stopped, he was just so calm, it was just amazing. I'm like, wow, he really likes this.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just think Anne's like so forward thinking, she doesn't even know it, because she's gonna have the best birth experience, and I can't wait to hear about it. You better keep in touch.
Thank you. I will.
Awesome.
So cute. Well, I learned today that when you have workers coming to your house and they're late, it really interrupts your practice.
Yeah. Well, I can save this too. So if you want to go back and see some of the stuff that we did, Pat, that's there too. But I got to run. My dad, I haven't seen in 2 years, is going to be seeing me. So I got to run and go see him.
Wonderful.
But I thank you all. Thank you all. I'm so glad Mark's here too. It makes me so happy to be able to share this practice. Thank you for your love and support in seeing the benefit in this. So if you need anything at all, please reach out, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.